So Nephthys is here. Nephthys is Isis's twin sister. I'm like so happy. So you guys, when I was trying to figure out who I was, you know, like years ago, when I was like, okay, well, like who like what, you know, which beings do I carry, you know? And I was trying to figure this out, and it was before I had found my current teacher. So it was really just me and my intuition. You know, I was obviously listening to stuff all day long, whatever. But I did not first find Isis. I found Nephthys. And I fell in love with her. And she is just the epitome of so much of what I relate to. If Isis is the sun, then Nephthys is the moon. If Isis is day, then Nephthys is night. If Isis is life, Nephthys is death. And by death, and then Isis just popped in too. By death, I mean resurrection. And as you guys know, that's my specialty. You know, I resonate with card number 13, with the death card, with transformation, with phoenixing. I had the incredible perception change following my near-death experience to look backwards and see my very same life completely differently. I had experienced what seemed to be like an out-of-control, endless string of absurd dark nights of the soul. And following this near-death experience and everything that happened in that experience, I could see, oh no, that was absolutely perfect. You were always meant to hold those things. I am meant to be a large, shallow bowl to hold all that pain. And when I work with another woman, I have that vast array of experience to share. And so that is how I found Nephthys. And there was like a huge, beautiful, clairvoyant confirmation of it. And I just totally fell in love with her. And then over time, I found Isis. And so Nephthys kind of resonates a little bit like, you know, it's funny. I actually have a fractal of my being I call Arcadia. And this fractal is a part of Lilith and Athena. And it's funny because Nephthys kind of reminds me of that same energy signature, like a little bit of Lilith and a little bit of Athena, you know? So she has got some bite to her, but it is an elegant and wise and discerning bite. And it's only a bite because it's truth. And it's love-based, always. So while it may feel like the edge of a sword going in at times, it's always to help you transmute. And so, and then she's joking with me, actually. She's like, and you like the pain. She's like, you're used to it by now. She's like, I find it, she's actually showing me like, she's showing me like a vision of my own self being kind of like haphazard with it and like slicing, just gently slicing my finger along an envelope opener and then licking the drop of blood, like, you know, sassy, like that. And okay, so she is saying, okay, okay. So she's saying, you have misrepresented me, Susan. I am just as much a part of Christ consciousness as my sister is. We are one. Much like Halal and Jesus. Oh wait, sorry. Much like Halal and Michael. Okay, so she's saying she and Isis are really one and the same, flip sides of the same coin, both Christ consciousness, just different ends of the spectrum. And she's comparing it to Archangel Michael and Halal. Halal is what we would also know as Lucifer. He is also an archangel, a being of light. And Halal and Archangel Michael were actually created. I'm going to say this in linear terms, and it's going to sound weird. But Halal and Archangel Michael are the same in that way. They're both created from that same, from a single energy pulse, if you will. They are both just as godly in their energies. They just represent opposite sides of the spectrum. And Halal is playing out a role for us out of great and deep love. He is allowing himself to serve as a source of all contrast until we have found ourselves exhausted along those lines and no longer needing the fuel of duality. But it is a great sacrifice. And they are one. And that is much the same with Isis and me. We are one. And I am here to encourage each and every one of you to embrace the pain. Whether it's emotional pain or physical pain, trust that it is shaping you. It is crafting you into the being you pre-incarnationally designed yourself to be. All contrast is architected by you. So the real question is, do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself with a capital Y? Capital Y, you knows best. Or will you sit from your microscopic vantage point and say, you know better? Seems silly to choose the one over the other, doesn't it? how could your perception as incarnated humans in the third dimension ever hope to rival the scope and wisdom of your eternal self? Everything that causes you pain is by divine design. Allow the forces that be to shape you. It is, as you would call it, your destiny. You had a goal in mind before coming in, and I assure you, it's far more sweeping than what you think it is. Don't box yourselves in by separating God out. God is all throughout. God is everything. There is no separation. And when you sit atop your flesh hilltops, and draw your lines in the sand, you are missing the grand scheme of things. I assure you. There must be a balance wherein you relax and accept what pains you. Of course, use your discernment. Take actions that align with your highest and best. Take actions that align with your truth. Be proactive in your life. Of course, I'd want this for you. But it must be balanced with a degree of acceptance for your challenges. And that acceptance must root in capital T, she's showing me, capital T, trust. Yeah. And then she's showing me this image actually, where basically for each and every one of us, we are surrounded. And I mean that, guys, freaking literally. We are surrounded by light beings whose joy it is to assist us. And within those ranks are every specialist you'll ever need. There's not a one chapter of your life experience that will go unaccompanied by a relevant spiritual being. And this idea of you being incarnated on earth, where duality is king. We've got that handled too. We've made reparations. You are covered through and through. The template of Isis and I, of sun and moon, is infinitely replicated. The world of spirit is thorough. You are always accompanied by the most finely specialized help. No matter how dark your nights or how bright your days, we're there by your side. And you can trust our vantage point. We see to the other side of your pain. We know what's in store. We only wish we could gift box it to you so you could get excited too, but it doesn't work that way, does it? So we wait. We're infinitely patient, as you'd imagine we'd have to be. You are slow learners, stubborn, yet strong. Now it's time to use that stubbornness to uphold your own values and to uphold your own truths. Can you drop the obsession of tinkering with everyone else all around you? And go within instead. It is an addiction. The need to please. And it drains you of your life force. But just by being aware of this, just by our having this conversation, it's far easier to put a stop to it. But the only one who can do so is you. And there will be those who do not like the changes you make. When you begin to triage for yourself above anyone else, there will be ripples across the landscape. You'll either stay true to yourself and root down even stronger, or you'll capsize in the wind and have to start all over again. The choice is yours. But we've started the conversation today, and now you are aware. So take this ball and run with it. Begin your new chapter of emotionally triaging via your own inner truths. You will afford yourselves a greater sense of peace ease, and stability. You will afford yourself far greater mental and emotional clarity. And we do think that is worth it. The clearer, the better. As always, we are here to assist. And then I just heard, I don't know why they do this sometimes. Then I just heard Isis and Nephthys out. I don't know why sometimes they do that. It's funny though, I like it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you guys should look her up. She's so cool. Like, to me, like somebody who has struggled in this way and had a really hard time with things, spiritually and otherwise, finding Nephthys was such a profound comfort. And she can be for you too. And like when they say, like when I'm channeling, like when they say like, you know, we're happy to assist, like guys, they're not just saying that. This is not like, you know, like a polite talk show. Do you know what I'm saying? Nothing is said without meaning. Now I know obviously it's going through my filters, but do you know what I'm saying? It's like, that is never said without the deepest and most genuine of meaning. So if you do find yourself resonating to Isis or Nephthys or whatever, then research them and spark a relationship with them. Really, guys, this is how it works. I mean, and this is how like you ultimately even like start channeling.